Should be a little movie before I talk. Okay. Okay, buenos dias. First, thank you very much for receiving me. I want to apologize to you because I don't speak Spanish. I understand a little bit, but I don't speak Spanish, and I think that, like I believe very much in Europe, I should speak Spanish. So I teach Spanish to my kids, and everyone in this big Europe that we're building together should be very aware to learn language to the kids, because if we want to build this big market against the Chinese, against the US, we have to talk the same language. So that's my first advice. Teach language to your kids. That's the most important things. Technology and internet change our life. Change our life in three ways. For the way we receive informations, for the way we live our private life, and for the way we will consume in the future. Information, you can see that since 5 days, what's happening in Japan, and the way we receive image, videos of exactly what's happening in Japan. This morning when I woke up, to the radio, the TV, and I saw this nuclear factory with all the radioactivity going there, and the men on the helicopter trying to put water. This affects us emotionally, everyone here, because the world is becoming a small planet, and we have news from everywhere. And those very violent images we receive are accentuated by the fact that they are in live. Our kids receive them, and we change something in our soul. So we are affected in the way we receive information every day with internet. It's good, but we have to live with it, and it's not very easy. So don't expect me to jump on the table today to talk about the success of Vente Privee, because I'm very affected by what is happening in Japan, and I think everyone is. The second thing is private life. You can see that the behavior, I give you an example, I have 3 kids. The way they behave with their BlackBerry or iPhone change the way, even the way they love people, which means they can love with a message, I love you, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then quit in the morning because they say, oh, now I don't love anymore. And it's new change. And we're not like that. And it's not a question of it's good or bad. It's a question that it's life now. And it changed our life in a way we will live in the future. And those kids are the future consumers. Third thing, the way we will consume. E-commerce is creating new way of buying service and products. It's the beginning of the story, and it will be very deep, and I will talk about that. It's very good to be here, and there is a lot of energy in this exhibition. I've seen that there is an exhibition of employment just across the street with a lot of young people. They should be here. They should be here because jobs of tomorrow will be created by technology, innovation, imagination, e-commerce, and all the tools men are inventing. So, one question. Why Vente Privee in 5 years in France became such a success, from 0 turnover to almost 1 billion in 5 years? Not selling wind, selling products. Why did it took me 20 years to start from scratch with 3,000 euros when I was 22, and to make 35 million euros in my business, my old business of wholesaler for inventories of brands. And suddenly, when I did a technological move in 2004, increase to almost 1 billion. That's an interesting question, because all the old business will have the capacity of growing this way. Internet is a fantastic accelerator of growth. So what is Vente Privee? 45 million products sent every year. More this year, normally 50, 55 millions. 13 million members. 1 billion turnover, I told you. Huge investment, technology, huge investment in logistics. And I still do my old business, which is getting rid of the inventories of brands. Still the same business I started 25 years ago. So the question is, what is e-commerce? E-commerce is just started. Commerce was invented between 50,000 and 100,000 years. It's on the Bible, you can see that that was the beginning when men started to sell products or exchange products. Animals, food against vegetables or something like that. And e-commerce is only 15 years old. It was invented by Jeff Bezos, Amazon CEO. The guy was a banker, and he left New York with his family, went to Seattle, 1994, and started from scratch and say, what is the best product I can sell with this new tool? The question was not if he was a bookseller. The question was that the book was the easiest thing for him to start. Easy to make catalogs, selling books to people who are CSP+, it means who have more money because they have computers, so they read and they buy books. If books come 1 week later, it doesn't matter. You have a policy of return on books, very easy, you send it back to the editors. So books was the excuse to start. He's not a bookseller. He's going to be bigger than Walmart. He's making $40 billion of sales, turnover. He's going to make more than $200 billion in a few years. And it's only the beginning. Because what is it exactly? E-commerce is two things. It's the capacity of creating digital catalogs. Very simple. Before, when you had some products, and when you want to sell products, you need to have a sales force, you need to have a retail network, you need to go to Cortes Ingles and to see if they can take your product. You need to hire salesmen, go on the road, or to do mail order by paper, like mail order companies. You don't have many mail order companies in Spain, but in the north of Europe they have a lot. And now, everybody, big brand, Loewe, Gucci, consumer brands, L'Oréal, small entrepreneur who starts making some t-shirts or dresses, fashion dresses, they all can do digital catalogs. So they all can show their products. So it's a fantastic tool for selling. That's the first point. The second point of what is e-commerce, it's the capacity of opening your shop to the rest of the world. Today about 2 billion of people using internet. This figure will increase very quickly. 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You combine the catalogs, if you have a good offer, and the capacity of delivering that to all the world, and you can have a major great success. That's e-commerce, and that's why in the last 10 years, companies were valuating so high in the stock exchange, because the market will be a global world market. That's very important to understand. E-commerce, you can be small, or you have to be very big. Small is quite easy. very interesting for entrepreneurship to start. But in the middle size, complicated, too expensive. I'm going to explain that. So when you say that e-commerce is to create catalogs and to open the shop, it's important to understand how do you get people come in your shop. So the key, second other key of e-commerce is the traffic. How to create traffic. How to create everyday traffic. Today, when you walk in a nice avenue where they have some brands, you walk there and you look at those shops. And you say, okay, I would love to get in because I like what they do. Oh, I read an article, I want to see if they have nice products. And you get in. On the net, you have to decide you get in. So how do people make you come? First thing, all internet started with sex. People want sex. All the first leaders that started internet companies in the year 90s, they started with sex sites. And the men were going on the sex sites. Where do you go every day else? Finance. All the big banks or all the entrepreneurs in the end of the last century, they create finance to see the stock exchange and to buy shares. And they make huge valorization of their company because every day the stock exchange change. What else? Information. But today you receive the information by Twitter, so you go very quickly. So you don't decide every day to go on an information site. But young people start to do it. Weather. Every day you want to see if the weather change. So you go and see the weather. It's less interesting, but sometimes it matters. One big success. Every day you ask you questions. What is this? Who is this guy? Where can I find this product? So what do? You go on Google. Because every day you ask questions to yourself. And every day you can find the answers on Google. And that creates huge traffic. And with this huge traffic, they have huge valorization of the company. And they can sell everything. So what else? Where you can go every day. Even if you're a fan of Gucci, do you go every day on a Gucci site? Even if you're the greatest fan, even if you love fashion, you go first day, second day, third day, always the same thing. News from Gucci, okay. After 3 days it's boring. You wait for the next show, 6 months or 3 months later. So you don't go every day. What did he create? What did we create in France with the traffic? Is that on Vente Privee, every day we have events. Events with brands, events with discount price, events with the inventory that is for sold now and not later. If you miss it, it's finished. And this created desire. And this desire creates everyday traffic. So on Vente Privee in France, in Spain too at a lower level, in Germany, Belgium, Italy, in the UK, at a lower level also, millions of people come on my site every day. Million. Without advertising and totally Google free. I don't pay Google. The question is, that's the power of Vente Privee. The question is, how in the future e-commerce sites will create this traffic without paying taxes to Google or Bing or engine research, search engine, you know? So, when you say that, you have to think now, what is the next thing important on an e-commerce site? What's important is trust. Trust makes you put your credit card and make you sure that you will have a good service, and if you have a problem, you can trust the company in solving your problem. People today, if they don't trust, they don't come. Never. They will never put the credit card. So the investment on quality is very, very, very important. The investment on your call center and mail center is very, very important, because the consumer is totally free to come or not to come. If he is disappointed, he won't come anymore, I guarantee. When you go to a shop, for example, in France, if I go to a shop and buy bread, and the bakery is in front of my building, if the bread is bad, I will still go and buy the bread there, because maybe the other bakery is far away. You're trapped. If you go in a shop where you want to buy a bicycle for your son, and your son wants a blue bicycle, you go on Saturday, you line, you find the bicycle, and there is a red one. What do? You convince him that red is good. It's better. It's a nicer bicycle. But he wants a blue one. You don't care. Maybe he's very sad, but you don't care. You say blue is better. Or red is better. I don't know what I said. You have less choice. But you're trapped in the shop. You go away. You buy, you go away, because other shops are too far away. On internet, never forget that competition is one click away for your finger. One click away. You're not happy, you go away. You compare. You have a bad service, you take the site out of your favorite. You don't go anymore. You're lost for life. Maybe not for life, but at least 2-3 years. That's why internet is a very sensible business to execute. Because there is a lot of customers, goes quick in this way, but it can go quick in the other way. So, what are the 3 pillars of internet and e-commerce? Because, okay, making catalogs looks easy, and opening a website, it's not so difficult. You have many companies that are selling the right tools to do that. But in fact, the 3 pillars of growth are IT, production, which is making the catalogs, the digital catalogs, and logistics. And you always have to anticipate your growth and be very powerful and invest a lot of money in this. IT creates the traffic and security of the traffic every day. And the traffic can be huge. At the beginning in Vente Privee, we had problems every morning. The sites was going out. So many people were coming. But it was in 2004-05. It was the beginning. So people say, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It's the beginning. It's a new thing. Now it's not the beginning, but people expect a lot of quality behind the screen. So you have to be very, people expect a lot of investment and quality behind the screen they see, because it's not an amateur job. So the second thing is production. Making catalogs, small catalogs, it's easy. You take a photographer, you take a web designer, hair dryer, etc. You make your catalog. You take a guy, you touch the colors and everything. Making huge catalogs, it's an industry. In Paris, with Vente Privee, we do 15,000 photos every day in 60 studios, giving work for 30 to 40 models every day. Hair dryer, maquilleur, I don't know, makeup, people who touch the photograph. We invented tools to go quicker on this. All those tools did not exist. We had to create them. At the beginning, when we took a picture in 2003, we had to go on the Champs-Élysées to Canon store to change our argentic picture to a digital CD. Now we go directly. We have special cameras from Canon, and the photograph goes directly from the photograph directly on the screen of the guy who will touch the photograph, so it make it nicer and nicer. So it's a tool we have to create, production. And then logistics. In the year 2000, when internet was blowing away, nobody believed in the internet anymore. Companies were not faithful. There was a company in France called Le Père Noël. They took the money of many people and then they disappeared with the money and didn't deliver the goods. It was a terrible clash for internet and for entrepreneurship in France, especially. And I started in 2000, this business. On the TV, there was one guy. He was investing millions, hundreds of millions. His name was Jeff Bezos still, with Amazon. And he was buying warehouses everywhere around the world. E-commerce is logistics. E-commerce is not something only to make nice image. E-commerce is delivering goods and services to the customer. If you don't anticipate your logistic, you die. We built with Vente Privee from nothing, from scratch, a tool where we have now 160,000 square meters in many warehouses. Every day I think about how to have more warehouses. Where do I increase my technology and still work with men, with the quality of men, because it's technology without men means nothing. So that's a huge investment. So when you have all those pillars, you need to have a great offer, because the consumer, he has a lot of choice. Internet is the freedom of the consumer. He's free to come, he's free to go, he's free to buy, he's free to compare, he's free to return. Internet is freedom, and you can track him. At Vente Privee, we don't do advertising. I don't want my consumer to say, oh, he's making money on advertising. I don't want. I make money when I give a good service, when I sell a good product, and when I deliver a good product. That's my strategy. Consumer, he knows exactly when you try to track him. If you want to offer something very special to a friend, you go on Amazon and you find something like books about Buddhism. And then in the next days, next weeks, they will send you all information about Buddhism. You don't like that. You want to be free to decide what people are sending to you. It's your intimacy. And the behavior of people who were on internet before, like German people, we are very mature on internet, but they are also very mature and very protective of their personal life. Means that when they receive an email from people they don't know, they almost go to the police. Because that's their freedom. They say, okay, why? Why is someone sending me a mail? It's my privacy. We are not like that in France, and we are not like that in Latin countries. Latin countries, at the beginning we say, oh, we receive emails, it's good, we have friends and so on, and let's talk. But more and more in the future, you will want your smartphone to be more intimate, which means more for your own life, and not people sending mails. That leads to something very important, the way people will consume. Because if they can't send mail to you, how do you go on the site? How do you decide to go on the site because they don't send mail? What is the future tool of consuming? Smartphone. Smartphone are the magic sticks for buying goods and service in the future. Japanese were very in advance with their smartphone and one-click payment. Now it's going on very well in the US. 10% of the e-commerce is bought from smartphones. On Vente Privee it's only 5%, but we start only 6 months ago. The future of buying will be on smartphone. So it doesn't mean it's the end of the shops. It doesn't mean at all. That's why the future of e-commerce is fantastic, because if it was only the end of the shops, you will tell me, okay, it's just a question of killing an old industry, old way of buying. and there is a new way. No. The new way is that you have e-commerce and the shops. And the brands that will all come to e-commerce. All of them. All of them. Luxury, small brands, all of them, they will have e-commerce sites in the future. They have to do what I call cross-selling. Cross-selling is very simple. Luxury brands, they do that now for a long time. You go to Dolce & Gabbana, you try a jacket. It's expensive place, it's expensive jacket. If you don't have your size, do you think the salesman is going to let you go out of the store without the jacket? No, he's going to go on this computer and say, oh, I have your size, you're in Paris, I have your size in Milano, I can send it to your home tomorrow. And wow, you say, wow, this is fantastic service. Wow, what a brand. It's normal they do that. They make 1,000 euros on the jacket. It's better to pay $50 to DHL or Federal Express. That's cross-selling. All the brands will have to do that in the future. Because they will have to control their inventories, they will have to control their products, and they will sell their products to shops where you go, because everyone likes to go to shops with friends, or because incarnation and agora is very important in life. You need to meet people and not be only on the screen. But if in the shop you don't want to carry the things you bought, what did they do in Japan, where they all live outside of Tokyo? They came in the morning with their kids. Every time they buy something, they give it to a special service delivery. And when they go home in the night, it's over there. They don't carry it. So they can buy other products, they can go to the movies, they can go to the restaurants without having products to carry, because they don't go with car to Tokyo. So cross-selling is the future for brands. Brands will continue to open shops, but not everywhere. Only where it's important to have shops, where people walk, have distractions, where people want to have a nice time, where people look at the shops and look at the brands. And then you will buy the items from the shops, or when you go back home from internet. And if you're not happy, if you buy on internet and you want to try the good, you will send it through internet to the shop and you will try it to the next day in the shop. That's cross-selling. That's the future. And all the brands will do that, and that will create a lot of jobs in service. So, as I told you, the consumer is free to come or not to come. What makes it come to your site? It's a brand. The quality of brand. More and more people like brands. Brands sells you imagination, dream, ethics sometimes. More and more people are concerned about where the products are made, how they are made. In brands secure you sometimes. And brands want to keep the customer as long as possible. So they have to create always what I told you, desire, which means experience of shopping in shops, and desire in advertising in the way they tell the world how good and how dreamful are their products. So there will be more and more advertising and more brands in the world, and there will be more and more competition. And the competition means that you have to be always the best to be sure that when someone comes in your shop, he comes again because you deliver him quality and trust. So that's what we try to do at Vente Privee. At Vente Privee, we try to take the customer when he's 12 years old. He's talking to his mother. Oh, mommy, there is a Nike t-shirt I like on Vente Privee. The mother is happy because normally she never shares the screen with her kid. Never. So they go on the screen and they say, okay, and she's happy because it's not very expensive. So she shares a moment with him, and then the parcel arrives a little later. It's like a little present. So they share something else. And this customer who is 12, when he will be having a job, a credit card, he will buy other brands on Vente Privee. If I still continue to deliver right service, he will buy all through his life. which means it's a lifetime consumer. So you have to take care of him very much. And that's the importance of the call center and mail center, which means every time there is a problem, you have to solve it, not by computer, by men. Never forget, behind all technology, behind the screens, what's important is the quality of men and women working and delivering this quality of service. Everything is men and women. So, incarnation of the call center makes top quality and make best faithful customers. At Vente Privee, we do everything. From the commercial, to production, to catalogs, to IT, to logistics. I decided to do everything, because most of the tools did not exist, and we create many tools, and we invented this business. And we do also call center and mail center. I have a building in France, not in Africa, not in Turkey, in France, where I pay people the normal fares, and where I teach them how to answer to a customer when he has a problem. If you give the right answer to a customer that has a problem, when you don't have a problem, it's normal. Customer is happy, but it's normal. He paid, he has a product or a service. When he has a problem and he solves you, he loves you. He says you're professional, and he will be your best ambassador for life. That's internet. You have to put quality, desire, investment, long-term view everywhere. The problem sometimes is that with the valorization of the stock exchange market, people make companies to sell them. I don't make company to sell them. I build a brand, I build a fantastic distribution tool, and this brand is for a long time. So it's not for sold. Because I prefer long-term, and the adventure is fantastic. And if you're here, it's because you are responsible managers or you are entrepreneur in this new business, and there is a lot to do, incredible things to do. And at Vente Privee, as the traffic that we have, we will do more. We can do like Groupon do. We have a rose deal. We did Groupon before Groupon, but we don't do deals like happy hours. We do deals with networks. We sell, for example, 40,000 rooms at Euro Disney in one night. 40,000 nights in 2 days, not one night, 2 days at Vente Privee. The power is very strong. So with the traffic and quality, you can invent fantastic other models where you can sell products or deliver things, music, movies, everything to your members. And it's important to understand that consumer, they trust you, but they can be very unfaithful. So it's never one. It's not because you're good now that you're good tomorrow. Just realize some companies that completely disappear in the world and that existed for ITT in the US in the year 90s. Everybody was saying ITT is a fantastic company. Finish. IBM. Now they are coming back. But for 15 years, nobody talked about IBM. Which means you have to be very careful that your business is here. And with internet, other people can come very quickly and take your consumer. So you have to have a long-term view on your business, always. Do you have any questions on this? Because maybe we have 5 minutes, and I finish with a little movie because I talked to you about desire, and all the site of Vente Privee is on desire, and we have an advertising that we do from a photographer. I want to show it to you. It's a 2-minute film, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Okay? So thank you very much. And there is a fantastic world of growth. I think it's very important for Spain. You don't have much industry. You have tourism. You have real estate. But you have your head and your brains. And you have commerce, buying and selling. And with this, that's the future of Europe. It's creativity, imagination. And e-commerce is the best way to do it. Okay? Thank you very much.